Dom1 or D plus Kia versus LNG. I'm always going to say Dom1. It just is what it is. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning into these. Likes, comments help a lot. Sub for more. And follow me everywhere at CubbyXX, especially on Twitter and Twitch, where I stream these live. That said, let's dive into the first game of the day. And what was a banger? I really feel like this series, LNG, were their drafts better or not? I don't know. Did they play better? Absolutely. LNG's been really, really good so far this tournament. It's been a blast to watch. So, in this game, this series, we have Ziggs being let through for aiming both times. Ziggs is a huge pick for LCK. I will say that LCK, like, the core that they have kind of ran the LCK in the back half of the split. With Ziggs pretty much being perma'd, Maokai being B1 prio heavily, and then Smolder being really, really big in the back half of playoffs and the regionals. So I feel like the LCK team kind of got picks they wanted, much like the way that LNG got picks they wanted. My weird thing for D+ is the prio on Ziggs, and we saw this a lot in the Americas tournament. Kai'Sa is just better for me in this matchup. Funneling a Kai'Sa versus funneling a Ziggs, I'm always going to take the Kai'Sa being funneled, because you get the 3 items, you outpoke Ziggs anyway. So, like, for me, Ziggs is always on a timer in this scenario. Now, Smolder can kind of match the timer, because Smolder scales really hard, but the way that LNG and LPL played against Smolders in their league, even when Smolder was, like, super-duper OP on release, they'd play Kai'Sa into it. And who is piloting this Kai'Sa in both games of the series? It's fucking Gala, who is the best Kai'Sa on the planet. So, I did not like this approach from D plus Kia. Now, some things that were good. Olaf pick. Olaf is actually good here. It's just that Olaf never really got off the ground. LNG did a really good job shutting it down. I also don't even mind giving away the Sylas with the Alistar and the Maokai ult, just because Olaf should be able to deal with it in the front line if Olaf gets going. The axes, the true damage, actually is not bad. And we just have to find a way to kill Kai'Sa, which I do think the D plus comp can do. But it's threat overload here, and the Sylas ends up being really game-breaking. Not as game-breaking as the Galio for Scout, but yeah. Anyway, I really favored the LNG just played better. I thought this draft was actually doable for D+, but Game 2 draft was doomed. I do not like the Ziggs Kai'Sa matchup. I feel like if you want to pick Ziggs, you gotta ban Kai'Sa on 3. We talked about this a lot in Americas, actually. Standard. Nothing of interest here. Good setup from aiming, by the way, that these two. You can go Yellow Tree, which you don't mind here. It is the Conqueror with ability haste, and then the bonus potions for Sylas, which I find interesting. Scout, nasty Sylas player, much like Showmaker is a nasty Sylas player. TP advantage for Dom1 or D plus Kia. Aiming losing flash, it hurts, and really good start from LNG's bot lane. Really good use, just knowing what your level 1 is and taking advantage of it. I don't know why D plus didn't start in lane. They could have avoided that if they started in lane. Said aiming misses first 2 creeps, and LNG bot lane's off to a really nice start. Alright, big thing this game was the way that LNG was able to shut down Olaf, too. Again, I do really like Olaf in this draft. I think it's playable. And just needs econ. And that's one thing about the D plus comp is I think they have a lot of wave clear. They just didn't end up having a lot of support for getting Kingen out, as it is first blood going over to LNG. Really nice on the Olaf. I don't like how Kingen played this out. I think the Kingen missed a lot of CS here. Now, Weiwei is here on wave... Yeah, so wave 3 didn't get in. So, like... I mean, there's not enough time to get this wave in for Olaf. So I think it's a really good play by Weiwei. Because the plan for Olaf is that you get this wave in. Which, I mean, you can see... There's a lot of... Like, he's -4 CS at this point of the game, right? Not being at 19, so you aren't able to go back and afford to get something like a Cole. And instead, it's first blood gifted over the Renekton, which really helps in this matchup. If Renekton gets ahead early and this wave's frozen, you get the TP out, so it's not a get 3 waves in, walk back Zoloft, and then you force out Renekton TP. That's usually how you want to play this matchup with Olaf. You fight when the wave's bouncing back into you, and you try and fight there. And then you get Renekton TP guaranteed. So if Renekton chunks you out, you can at least TP back. Now we're down TP as Olaf. We're down items and XP and gold as Olaf. And Olaf is all about the economy. If Olaf isn't getting economy, Olaf is not useful as a pick. So LNG does a great job of shutting down the Olaf in this game. And King had a really tough series. Gawa managed to get a Cole. And they tried to ignite to keep aiming in lane. Not the case. Would have been another free lane. Or free wave for Gala. And Gala's up in the standard lanes, guys. This is super chill. Scout was forced off post TP, so well played by Showmaker. Showmaker's a little bit low on stacks, though. But hard lane. You can't get pressured a lot. And then Dragon goes over. This is post TP from Ziggs, so Ziggs has a full mana pool. Top's winning. Renekton's on the top side, so just going to be a trade. I think that's A-OK from D+. And LNG, I think it's the right call from both teams. If they actually wanted to play for Grubs, D+, they would have had to have Ziggs TP, not back here. But King would have had a hard game, if that's the case. I mean, I actually think it's doable, by the way. But Kingan's wave's hard. You just have Kingan base now, you TP the Ziggs up, and you can maybe play for Grubs. But once Ziggs TP's down, then it's Dragon time. So just a trade. Good job here by Scout to... Yeah, he just buys a ton of space. And swaps late. And then Renekton can't... Like, this is another issue with a swap here that I don't love from D+. So A, the swap's late. B, they can't really stop Renekton from picking up this wave. And now you have Olaf in a lane where the wave is shoving... I mean, it's even, but it might be shoving away from him. And Olaf is just losing XP and Econ. Like, Zika cannot be stopped on this wave. And then D+ get a kill. I don't think that they should kill here. Nice job here by Moham, just being a distraction. If the Renekton's on the Maokai at all, you know, the Maokai dies, but Phase Rush gets him out. And Moham just does a really nice job at interrupting here. I think if LNG are focused on the same target, it's winnable. So honestly, like, I think the Honk should go on Alistar. If it's a level 5 Alistar, this Alistar is dead on my screen. And you at least get aiming flash too. I think about if this is on Alistar and you have the Vi charging up the Q, right? Like, look at this. We're burning Q flash, right? Right here. If this is a Q flash onto Alistar, we don't have a W here. This was used prior, but you just ult and die. Also, if you ult aiming, it would probably push the Alistar back here, and you might get aiming's flash as well. I think going on Cow was just the move. They thought they could have killed Maokai, but Zeka couldn't get involved. So no Zika, no kill, and then the Renekton goes down. So oopsie there from LNG. I think they can take that fight though. I still think the map state here is bad for D+ Kia. I do think that could have been winning for LNG. They just picked the wrong target. If they go for the level 5 target, I think they do get that. They win out on the play. They force D+ back, and then bot lane again is just Gawa free farming. I said they do get Gawa out of the matchup, and then they're going to swap again. Which I don't get this. I know Olaf is down in the matchup in the 1v1, but like, why are you picking the Olaf in a Renekton if this is the case? Flygon, Maokai, Olaf yesterday instead of Amumu Darius. Yeah. Amumu ended up being okay in that game, but the Silas value for Showmaker was unreal. I will say with all the rotating going around, the Kai'Sa to get starved out a wee bit. And then we send the house at the Renekton. So good call from D+ here. Actually really nice. And they have TP advantage, and so they're just going to use it to be proactive on the lane. Or everyone, they're just saying they really want second rotation of Grubs, so it's going to kill Renekton beforehand. And really well played. Really well played. Yo, Cub in chat, just stop by to say hi as I'm watching some UFC. Ooh, what are the cards like tonight? Any good fights in the card? All right, now we go for Maham. Yeah, I mean, D+ burned a lot, and Kingen has to TP back, so... And at least they got Wei Flash, but... Yeah, there goes... That means that Grubs go over. Also, God was untouched while this is all going on. So I think this is super worth it for LNG. I mean, like, killing the Renekton here, they burned everything to kill the Renekton. They can't take the fight afterwards. And Scout just bleeds Alistar ult. I think Moham stepping up there is an oopsie for sure. But what the play should be here for D+, that they should fix both waves and go to this, instead of going for it right away. They should focus on fixing their waves first. Because if they fix their waves to get the waves in, A, LNG has to respond, and B, it buys time for Kingen to base and get back and do this. Showmaker's doing the right thing here. Moham should not have played for that. They should have played to connect Ziggs. And connect Kingen. Instead, they don't. They skip some steps, and now they're in trouble. So it's just 6 over to LNG. Which really hurts. Because like Ziggs with Grub advantage, you just get to accelerate the game so much faster. Okay, it's still 5. This is messy overall. Nice yoink. Alright, so they overload a top. They get a brick, but Galwa got first brick bought. So that's better. Like, the Kai'Sa got first brick. The Cole's about to pop. Kai'Sa's in such a good state this game. Again, once you get the 3 items as Kai'Sa, you're just better than Ziggs. Your poke is better with Evolve W, and then your DPS in fights is just, like, ballistic. I do not like this matchup. You have to play the game really fast and really clean. Ziggs is hitting the ban list. I think that Ziggs should be banned, but I do think that if you want to first pick Ziggs, you should be setting up the Kai'Sa ban. We have the 1v1 that goes south. So he missed 1 Q here as Kingen. The flash away was really good. Kingen's gonna die here to like the next Q. I mean, or the W or like the next D. I think he was dead there. Obviously, the plant accelerates that, but well played on the flash out because then Olaf ult stops and he bought time to actually get his spells back up. That's how they win that. Meanwhile, this not connecting is tough. If aiming hits this, Gala does die because Moham has flash. Instead, Galwa gets out, which is, I think, again, pretty big. And we just burned our shit to make a dive that didn't work. Guess who was TPing behind everyone? Really nice ult here from Weiwei. Satchel charge. Buffered gets out. Bots getting waves in. Like, LNG is just winning really, really, really hard. They're going to lose mid from this, or mid pressure from this, but it's worth the fight. I don't know. I just feel like the dives from D+, both dives they went for were just unwarranted. I think this one was I think this one was misplayed. The top one was unwarranted. Top one they skipped steps. This time they misplayed the dive, and they like Scout's TP is really, really nice. Yeah, Rel has been so much more valuable than Alistar. I thought Rel would be his best support. I thought it'd be Leona. I have Leona as most picks and most deaths in my pick'em, and it's Rel sitting at most deaths and most picks right now. So I had the read right. I just had the wrong champion. I thought that the move speed would actually hurt Rel, but I was wrong. You're still faster than other sports. I have seen these games, yeah. I watched all of them yesterday. And Olaf goes down again. This is really big. They get it over to Gala too. Again, Olaf's only as good as the econ he's able to get. So I really like what LNG do to shut down Olaf in this. That is really, really well played by them. If you take Olaf out, nothing can deal with Silas really anymore. With the ults that he has. Moham almost gets out, but they feed it over to Gala. Even worse. And that's a dragon. This game is really hard now. I will say that Chemsoul too. Guys, Chemsoul this game is actually really valuable for LNG. I know that people just like to fade Chemtech, but think of all the things that you can benefit off of when it comes to Chemsoul. You get increased healing, increased shield generation, and more tenacity. More tenacity, really nice against the Maokai. But the big things for LNG, so everyone benefits from Chemsoul in some way, shape, or form. Silas has heals via shields. Renekton has both with Sterax. Kaisa has a shield. And Rel has a shield. Also, the damage resistance in terms of like helping survive some of like Smolder. I know it's a true damage burn, but it's valuable. Alright, Scout's TP was errant here. The fact Scout got out of this is crazy. Again, TP. I mean, if Scout grabs a good ultimate, like it is playable. Just that D+ saw this one coming, so. And he didn't get Alistar ult, which I don't think he can get, so. I mean, he lives, but not great. So a bit optimistic there from Scout. If he's not spotted, it's good, but this does end up being a pretty positive play for D+. That said, Renekton ported in behind for the second time. And yeah, they don't get anything. They did get bot all the way in. I mean, I think LNG, like this TP for me is a little bit optimistic from Zika, but I think that the one for like I think both were optimistic for sure. But LNG's map is like it's still okay. Just Kaisa things, man. Again, Kaisa into Ziggs. Able to get in, find it. Gala's gonna be 3 items so early in this game. This Kai'Sa's just pumping. I mean, look at what this Kai'Sa's doing, man. Like, look at the damage that Gala's just putting down in this fight. Like, absolutely just schmelts, too. This is game. D+, aiming getting picked is poor. I can understand going to help. Does go aggro away. I don't think it made too much of a difference here. Besides the fact that Gala was able to spot him. Aiming, I guess, just had to flash the W. Again, he's missing his W offensively, too, which is really bad. Like, that satchel throw from aiming is tough, looking back. I think that is also part of the mistake, so. If we're, yeah, and then Showmaker just flapping forward and then flashing back and still getting engaged on. I know he lives, but his team dies. Really, really poor sequence from D+ Kia. I mean, this is kind of what we've come to expect from D+ Kia. They're really sick, and then they will grief really hard all in the same game. They're the same series and same game. I don't know. I think when Olaf gets behind, nothing can deal with Silas. Because Olaf like has to sit in this front line and just keep on autoing and absorb and just try and deter the Silas. There is value for sure with the true damage when he yoinks the Alistar ult. I can see the theory here with D+. I also think that Alistar is... I know Silas gets Alistar ult and it's really annoying, but Alistar can peel Silas pretty effectively. I think there's one fight where we do see D plus actually be able to turtle up and win, but pretty much this game is wrapped. LNG just needs Barons to end because it's really hard to clear or to win into Zig Smolder because of the clear they bring, wave clear they bring. But Gawa being this big, all they have to do is just get a fight out of base where they can actually wrap, find an angle, and it's chill. This Kai'Sa is just so big. Again, I really favor Kai'Sa into Ziggs. I think if we're going to first pick Ziggs, Kai'Sa needs to be taken off the board, unironically. I mean, all LNG has to do here is just keep their waves in. This was deep. This was too deep from Weiwei. I mean, yeah, they're on aiming, but Moham is a really nice interrupt here. And my issue is that they're just over the wall. Like, Gawa's not here. They're over the wall. They're too close to a turret taking this fight. Really good interrupt, though, by Moham. Aiming using an appropriate offensive satchel. And they get both sums out of Gawa. See, LNG are just way too deep here. The fact it was close to a turret was poor. And then D+, they're looking into the flip. Scout gets another ultimate, and it's Alistar ult. As long as he dodges out on... Yeah. I mean, again, Alistar ult, like, I don't think it's Omega super valuable this game. I'll be honest. Like, there are tools that DK can use to actually deal with it when it's on Silas, but it's too good. Too good for that fight, at least. The fact he gets 2 ults in a fight's big, too. So, well played. Yeah, I just think that, like, again, the terrain that LNG took that fight on, that was just way too much. It was way too deep. It was a good recovery in the end. Death cap for Gawa. I mean, good luck. Oh, it's also Chemsoul for LNG. Like, very helpful. I do think Chemsoul was actually really valuable this game. Yeah, all LNG has to do is just keep the waves in and keep this play pattern up. They built a slow push bot so they can just play these 2 lanes, which is really nice. And yeah, there's no contest for D+. I mean, again, like, Kai'Sa is more valuable than Ziggs at this point. We did not play this fast enough as D+ to have a chance. Which is really tough into the LNG top side, too. It's actually a nice bridge for Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa's really happy in this comp. And I really like Kai'Sa in the Ziggs. I feel like you can match the 1v1, you outpush in the lanes, or you can match the 2v2, you outpush in the lane swap. And if you aren't pushed around at all early, you will Omega outscale. And Gawa did just that in these games. So I was very surprised that LNG got 2 games of Kai'Sa, given who their marksman is. And how sick Gawa is at Kai'Sa. He's just so nasty at this champion. Alex Pereira versus Roundtree, and the champ won. Nice. I got really into UFC during COVID. I haven't been in it as of late, but I mean, Olaf had that stop autoing at some point, so now it's just that's it. Oh, okay. I will say Showmaker did something really cool here. So Showmaker goes golden here, and then he goes and buys the Zanyas, and then he's able to go golden again, which I think really caught LNG off guard. So that's the only reason that the Nexus stands, is how Showmaker played that out. Yeah, he had Zanyas now. So really well done by Showmaker. The double golden there actually did save the game. Think we'll see more Twitch this Worlds? Nah, probably not. I do think the game it was picked, though, is really good. There's potential for it, though, with lane swaps, but yeah. I just think there's way too many distractions that Gen G comps like actually think or focus on Twitch. LNG actually had really good map control this game. I mean, and D plus have to face check the Kaisa poke and Rels, and they didn't have enough time. I really like LNG's call to burn, and Kaisa burns with the passive at this point. And it's just big flank. Ezika was able to get around. And 3-man from Rel. Gala over the top. And Olaf is gonna burn through Elder. Unlucky. GG. Good game one from LNG. LNG played really solid that game one. Really good game one. Game two. Okay. God damn, this pick's so good this game. Very similar draft. This time, though, they're going to take the Vi first pick. Leave up Maokai, ends up being Sedge, and then Camille. Camille able to be picked here because some of the bad matches for Camille are already off the board. Like this, kind of like this. Camille, it's playable for Camille. This. A lot of bad Camille matches off the board, and you have Sedge wanting to power up. Ends up being Ziggs Poppy. I do not like Poppy this game. I mean, I feel like Poppy, you actually get really abused by Galio just with the W. I know like, oh, Poppy can interrupt the dash, right? You want to interrupt other stuff. And we have another game where it's a Kaisa setup. And we already, if it is Poppy Sport, we cannot stop Kaisa in lane. And then if it's Poppy top and a Camille, we're getting Omega outscaled. The Camille Q is not okay, guys. The Poppy and a Camille matchup for me is fake. It's still Camille favorite top. It's just a fake matchup. So I didn't like this pick. I think this needed to be Leona. And again, if we're going to take Ziggs, I would advocate for Kaisa being off the board. Catch you next time. Bummed I can't stay awake so you get to the white play in game one. That was play of the tournament by far. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was crazy. Thanks for hanging out, PB Doc, as always. Ends up being Ari and Cassante. Cassante to kind of hold the line. You can't play it in the Camille. It's not great, but at least we can be Cassante in team fights and create space, right? There is an idea for that. But there is no DPS in terms of AD damage, and so we just pick Galio. And Galio just breaks the fucking game. We have Camille Galio. No one can kill Galio, guys. This is our damage. Who is going to kill Galio? There's no AD damage in this game. And we just have Galio, Rel, Sedge, the biggest fucking front line. And then we have Camille Kaisa to pump the deeps. This for me is just like actually just a turbo draft if. Which, I mean, everyone on Twitter was... This is not a hot take by me, like, by any points. I just love the use of R5 here by LNG. Because the Galio was so good this game. Whoops. What you're looking for. It's the Grasp setup with Jack of all trades. I didn't like Grasp. I think that this should be... Like, the theory of Grasp here is to be able to live longer. But I think this should have been First Strike or Conquer. I think First Strike actually is really slept on the Ari. You can at least get to, like, 2+ items faster. Everything else is pretty standard. Just tuned in. Have you gotten to the Gen G HOE series now? What's up, Thomas? Alright, so we're gonna level 1. Big thing about this level 1 is we're creating space for Vi. But Weiwei still was able to get the vast majority of the camp. So I think you need to get everything but 2 chickens to get level 2. Like, if you miss 3 chickens, then you don't get it. If you miss 2, you still get it. I'm pretty sure that's the break point. Anyway, Weiwei missed 1 chicken. So now we're going to have a swap. But we weren't farming top wave. So top wave is... We're late to top. I think those melee creeps are dead. Yeah. I think we definitely missed some creeps. So Gawa and Zika are already ahead from this. Like, the XP right now is just a disaster across the board, if you look at it. Like, only Kingan's ahead. Alright, so Kingan's going to TP down. And we're going to have a 4v1. In which the Cassante lives. So we do not go for the trade. Moham going to think differently. Throw himself in there. Get some health traded. I mean, I will say in a way, it is like, it is slowing down LNG on the clear, but it's not really getting anything of note, because Lucid's still down a camp, because the Sejuani started Raptors, which I liked a lot, actually. The fact they were able to at least greed 1 camp on that side of the map before the split came in is good. LNG were set up for that. If this play is going to hit, I do think it needs to be Charm Flash from Showmaker, too. Raptor respawn is contested by Lucid, which is good. So I do like this. But the lanes are still a disaster. Ziggs needs to TP back. Like, we're getting pressured by Camille. So what, do we miss Cannon in that lane? And then we both base, and it still ends up being a Ziggs TP top. Yeah, and Cannon was missed. That was well played by D+. I don't know what Zika was thinking here, honestly. I think that he just has to flash the satchel. And at least the E, like, you get more space with that, but he still ends up getting bopped into the wall, which is the hard part. Anyway, Gala's farming. It's fine. This was well played by Kingen. I don't think Kingen can play this much better. Like, maybe queuing away. Actually, if he queues the Sejuani here, it would have been next level. But Sej is the next person to take aggro. So I think that's the one way the King could have played this better. Sej is closest to the turret, so I'm not hindsight herring that. If he does that, it is actually next level. But yeah, Showmaker gets down, still 3 plates falling, and Gala gets out with a kill. And has a coal. So answer on the top side is just this. They always slow down Gala's base, and they do get Gala to flash. They also get Showmaker flash. Why Camille was here, I'm not sure, actually. I guess Camille shifted down because this play was going on. So good shift by LNG. That the shift from Zika actually gets... Make sure that they get Showmaker flash. It does give Grubs over to D+, so that's good for the Ziggs, and Ziggs is going to pretty much take that turret. Because it was abandoned. But hey, we got gold on the Kaisa, guys. We got golden on the Kaisa. And then Kinga just loses his mind here. I just don't... I do not know how or why Kingan walks up like this for that Q. It's so puzzling. Showmaker is no ult, no mana. And then Lucid is also here. Clearing a ward. And he dies. It's very questionable. It's a D plus. I don't want to say it's a D plus special, but like I don't know, man. This was your typical DK experience this series, without the aiming carry, but aiming was on Ziggs. Hmm. I think this game's already really hard for D plus. I mean, the draft is one thing, right? Because again, no one can deal with Galio later on. But they didn't accelerate this game. And again, Gala is in a really, really good spot as Kaisa. I still... I know it's Gala Kaisa. Gala Kaisa is insane. I really prefer the Kaisa into Ziggs matchup. I want to start seeing Kaisa bans if we want to play Ziggs. Because at least with, if you ban Kaisa, like Kaisa, eventually they get to outpoke and out DPS Ziggs. So you just win in fights. At least if you ban Kaisa, you force like Ezreal or Varus, where, hey, maybe you can match the poke, but then you don't get like the insane DPS. And Varus in that scenario would go poke Varus most likely. Which was getting some play in Americas. I know it's tier 2, but we did see poke Varus played in this tournament. I saw poke Callisto, which we don't like, but you know, it happened. Good flash from Moham. Really good flash here by Moham. It denied the ult from Gala, so well played by D+. Justice punch, though. Got some justice. Nice bait here by Hong, honestly. It is 6 grubs for D+ this game, which I did kind of skip over, so I think that's part of the reason why they're up here and overloading, but we just lose our minds for this turret. Like they are going to get it in the end, but I don't get why we force so hard around this. Like, this first play is really good from D+. That play is really good. A lot was burned for that. I think if Lucid goes on to Wewe... Okay, he's kind of stuck. If he hits Wewe, at least it's more space than what he gets here. I know he's trying to get back to his team, but they're like he's playing through the turret. If he goes down here, we actually can connect. And then we can get him out. So I think Lucid actually misplayed this. You would at least create space from Rel, where Rel couldn't follow up. So I do think that Lucid misplayed. But then, like, why do we stay for this? I know how low the turret is, but there's no rush here. Like, you have 6 grubs and Ziggs. This turret will fall. You don't need to, like, burn all this shit for it. Their bot lane, if they just go fix the bot lane, I think it's very preferable. You fix bot, and then you can catch top for free, and then after that, you can rotate and try and take this on the next turn. Well, you have 2.5 minutes to get the play cold, so I just don't get the rush. And that's the one argument, is that if they get it now, then they can actually play for bot with Ziggs next, but that like would have involved Cassante push. You can even, if Cassante even shoves this out instead of TPing, you can play one more wave mid and then shift bot and get like 3 plates with Ziggs and 6 grubs. You really can. See, I think D+, again, just kind of lost their minds. And you're in the hole in a game where, again, you're just immensely outdrafted. Like, you will not do damage to this comp later on. All right, congrats. You got the turret, but it was cost. Like, now Scout's up gold. And we already see what he's doing to Showmaker. It's another dragon secured by LNG too. Which, I mean, that's the other thing with this scenario being set up. 30 seconds till dragon? I mean, If you let this play go and reset first, then you would actually have first turn on dragon. Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't even think about that. Damn. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How much you don't have to do anything in this game. They just need Gawa to scale. Also, Gawa went crack in this game instead of Shiv. Interesting. Big Ziggs ult. Didn't matter. Like, Gawa's untouched. How useful is support Poppy? No stats. No stats, no win. He had Hong in the back, but again, Gawa's just free firing. Yeah. I mean, LNG fisted this fight. And they are here first. It is a nice Ziggs ult. But again, Scout takes 0 damage against this team. Like, Scout throwing himself in here, too. Like, goodbye, Showmaker. Yeah, Scout's just insane in this fight. Wow, Scout played this so well, actually. I really love how Scout played out this fight. The space that he bought as Galio was just... It was really, really good there. That ult, even though it didn't catch anyone, he completely zoned out Showmaker, then made the play in aiming afterwards. That was really sick. I think most Galios hit R in the rel engage. The fact that Scout saves it and hits it here, like the space in the zones that he creates, Kingan's dead. He's 1v4 now. Okay, aiming help. 2v4. Then Scout shuts him down. Oh, poor Lucid. And the fact that D Plus got the game as long as it was is honestly props to them and errors from LNG because this game is over on my screen. It was pretty over in draft, and now it should be Omega over. So let's see what kind of weaknesses we find for LNG because again, like this game's done. Why'd they send Sedge top here? I guess they found Lucid, but for me, it should be assumed that we're dropping. That this is being dropped. Yeah, there's just no way that D Plus can fight. Alright, so Herald's just a distraction. It's fine. Yeah, I think if we play Ziggs and LNG, we ban Kaisa, man. I just want to see him play non-Kaisa team. Good shift here by LNG. This just gonna take total control of this side and go play the red buff. I love how they're denying the buffs, by the way. This is what you should do when you can't do other objectives at this point of the game. It's post 20. Really, you get global red buff. It's so big. Makes it so Cassante can further just not play this lane. Again, Zika just in the side lane. All right, Scout gets caught here. Yeah, that was ambitious from Scout. Scout should just there's no reason to Scout beer. That's bad. They just need to keep the play pattern up. They don't need to force anything, and that's a bad force. Good shutdown. Yeah, that is inexplainable from LNG, but you know it happens. What's the interaction here? Oh, okay. Interesting. I wonder if it's because he got out of range of the Poppy. I know it has two pieces to it, the E, right? It's like Poppy can cancel the first one, not the second. So maybe he got in the second one faster. And D plus can always keep waves up, but again, I just Kaisa just fucking breaks this game, man. A bit surprised that it's not the Nashers again from Gala, but he wants lifesteal. Oh, it's just gonna be Wits End. Okay, this is understandable. Never mind, it should be Wits End. I like how aggressive LNG play on the objectives with Kaisa. Just understanding that if they do have time, they can't actually melt the objective. I don't know who's calling this, but it's been a couple times where I do feel like the D plus objective setup has been lacking, but this is big for them as well. I mean, why is no one bot here? Are we that scared? The TP bot from Scout gets that wave in so deep. You're forced to play one like through mid now. This is their opportunity to take vision. They just don't take enough. And Showmaker goes back to bot wave. Ugh. Like that needs to happen earlier if we're gonna do this, you know? Because now like by Showmaker showing bot there, it completely gives them the dragon. Camille TP's in. If Showmaker walks through there, he's dead, and they melt here. This is good for LNG. I think D plus really messed this up, but LNG have a really good punish in here. Nice C4 out of 5 Yone bends, yeah. I don't understand why DK drafted 0 damage. Yeah. We already talked about that. The Galio pick was Thanos, as everyone else covered. Again, they force Lucid out. I think Lucid just has to press R there and try and get the Smite steal. And guys, they don't let Camille auto attack for the entire fight, and then nothing happens. It's so funny. And it just doesn't matter because they're playing like circles with Kaisa. Gala doesn't even have a great fight here. This doesn't matter. Oh, wait, no, this did matter. Guys, if Camille doesn't auto for the entirety of the fight, we might be able to win his D plus Kia. I think that's what we learned. Yeah, I mean, Gala just didn't have a great R, a good fight, and D plus playing back through the choke was really good. So props to them. And then the Moham W got insane value. Alright, guys, Poppy might be useful. I think Poppy's being just so overprioritized though at Worlds. Like, Poppy Sport's just so fake, man. I do not care. Alright. So it takes a monumentally bad fight from LNG for D plus to win. Poppy's saving my pick'ems. It hasn't been played jungle yet, has it? Is it at 3 rolls right now? Oh, it has been played jungle. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, why defend this? Like you're against a 6 grub Ziggs team? Fuck that turret, man. Alright, that's bad. This turret, yep, just give the turrets. It does not matter. I mean, they have Mountain Soul with this comp, guys. It literally does not matter. Ani played it twice. God, I really did erase points from my mind. I love how Moham right now is 3 points in Q, 4 points in W, 2 points in E. That's hilarious. Man's just taking whatever he feels like is needed. This is good from D+. Like, I feel like they play their Baron out okay. I know it just expired, but they should get this turret. Oh, W was early. Never mind. We baited in our entire team as aiming. Like, why throw the satchel here, man? Why? 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 Fucking sick. Yeah, no, Kaisa, and we saw this in Americas. The Kaisa and the Ziggs matchup, I'm very, very pro Kaisa. Gala does get found here on rotation by Lucid and Showmaker, so that's at least big. Oh my god, they keep Gala alive. That's crazy. Oh no. I will say this setup from D Plus much better for the Elder at the moment. They're actually holding their long points. Levels D Plus actually kept up too. Again, I just think the Mountain Soul and the comp is just it's so LNG favored. And the fact that you just push through all that's crazy to me. Yeah, goodbye King and Health. Wow, and then they just forced him out completely. Wow. I mean, I feel like D Plus were slow to react to this. Like, aiming's late to the game here. They don't have the vision to support this. They're holding that choke. LNG were able to get down here, and Camille has bot lane access, so they get out. Well played by LNG. No, I don't think Fiora changes this game at all. Maybe you don't get Galio picked on. The Camille pick was good. Just give a lot of Camille matchups were down early. And yeah, I'm very pro Kaisa into Ziggs. I think that if you want to play Ziggs, you actually need to ban Kaisa. This is what we figured out in Americas. Because when Kaisa gets 3 items, it just Ziggs does not matter anymore. Kaisa excels at the parts of the game that Ziggs doesn't, and you outpoke and out DPS. And they find the Camille again here, but not as well. I think Kingen going for the Galio here was what was off, honestly. Because it allows Gala to have a really easy fight. Like, Gala's actually in kind of a tough spot here. The engage from Hong on the Rel is really big, too. Does he get 4? And it's just Elder. They win side versus both champs with Fiora, and he wins lane phase. Lane phase is kind of skill matchup in that matchup, and I don't think you pick Galio if you see Fiora. Also, this wasn't about winning sides. This is about Damwon just having no damage to deal with LNG's comp. Like, the Galio pick was really good this game. Because there was just no damage. And then we just get to do this. I actually really like this play from Showmaker to get Gala. The Charm Flash into Q, and it's not like you do bounce back there, so that's well calculated, but again, that's all they can do. The opening to the fight was too good for LNG, and then the Galio is too good at buying space. Kaisa behind this Galio is a problem. I think Gala should have focused Showmaker looking back, but they wanted to get Smite off the board, so I can't blame him for that. I think you take out damage, then lose its free afterwards, so. The aiming gets chased down, and LNG has this game won. I think D plus made this game way closer than what it should have been. LNG had like 2 or 3 overextensions, saw bad plays, but their draft just way too good this game. Still really out on Poppy support. I mean, it's so funny watching this Camille just not be able to auto for like seconds on end, and then it just not mattering at all. Because it's A, no damage, and B, it's mountain. As D plus can't leave the base. We're just kind of waiting for this one to end. It is hard for LNG to siege. Again, Ziggs brings a lot of wave clear. RE2. So it takes double Elder. But they're at a much bigger advantage now. Gala and Zika have GAs. Really nice. So good luxury items here. Wei just waiting patiently. Get Showmaker to pop Zanya's. I will say, like, the poke into Gala is decent, and it's a good ult from Moham. Because it actually gets Ro out, who has been a problem. But Gala just gets to fight for free. And again, like, this Camille just cannot auto. And they actually do such a good job of shutting down Camille in a lot of these fights. It just doesn't matter, though, because they're not on the Kaisa. And yeah, next rotation is Scout. I mean, aiming goes down. Again, no one does any damage. No one does any damage. And that's game. Congrats to LNG on the 2-0. They look good. LNG does look really good in this tournament. I'm really glad they showed up the form that they're in. There are a lot of questions around Scout and if they were able to, be ready or not, but they've been fantastic so far. So I'm happy they're in quarters. They definitely deserve it with their play. Anyway, that's it for this VoD review of D plus versus LNG. If you guys enjoyed the content, drop a like, comment, and or a sub. I'll be posting more. And follow me everywhere at Cubby, especially on Twitch, where I do these live. So next VoD review. Peace.